Hello everybody, my name is Tim Norris, aka GreyElephant, coming to you from GreyElephant Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Formula E. E stands for elephant. Today's video is a tutorial video to help demonstrate how to set the game up all the way to in-game victory conditions. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. The first step in setting the game up is to determine the amount of players. The board that we are using today is a 3 to 4 player board. There's also a 5 to 6 player board. So once you determine the amount of players, you will get that many colored elephants, and each person would select the color of their choice. What you'll do then is you're going to take each one of these holy cows, 10 in total, and you're going to place them around the board on each one of the spots that has the silhouette of a holy cow located. Once you have all 10 on the board, you're then going to take the mouse and you're going to place him on the first mouse hole that is directly after the finish line, which is here. There's also a mouse hole here, here, and here located on the board, and we'll explain why those are there later on when we talk about the mouse actions. Once each person has their color, you're going to take all of the elephants, shake them up like this. One person will draw one of the elephants out. The colored that player belongs to becomes the starting player. What he gets to do is wait, and he has to place last, but he actually gets to do first movement. The person to his right will place first on the board in one of these 6 areas located on the board. Once everybody has all their elephants on the board, you're going to take 6 cards from the top of this stack and deliver 6 to each one of the players. Now you're ready to go, and you're ready to play Formula E. On your turn, you have one of 3 options. You're either going to play one card of any color, you're going to play one green card and one yellow card in any order, or you're going to discard any number of cards from your hand. At the end of your turn, you always draw back up to 6. So what I will do first is we're going to go over elephant movement by playing cards from your hand. If we look at the deck here, we could pull 2 cards off the bottom. These are green and purple cards. Green and purple cards are your movement cards of the game. Purple cards typically are faster moving cards. However, they can never be combined with yellow cards, which we'll show what yellow cards do here in a bit. Yellow cards always signify actions. Green cards are typically slower, denoted by the number up here. However, they can be combined with the action cards, which do become quite powerful. So on your turn, you can select one of these cards and you could play it down. But remember, if it's a purple, you cannot combine it with the yellow card. However, if it is a green, you could. So if you did play the purple, and if you were the yellow player, movement would occur as such. Each square on the board counts as 1 movement space. So if he could move 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, he would have to stop right where the board ends. And then he would move sideways for 1 action as well. Now that does count against his total action points. So that would be 5 movement points because he started here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ending in this spot right here. It's important to always remember that your elephant must always move forward if possible. That is why he moves forward, he hits the wall, that pushes him to where he goes sideways, and then he continues to move forward again. Your elephants can never move sideways or diagonal unless they have a special mango juice card, which is a yellow action card, which we'll go over that here in just a second. One other thing you have to remember is that if it is possible, your elephant has to go the full distance that he is moving forward. And it is quite possible at times that you will push other elephants that are in front of you. Let me show you an example of that. Yellow sits right here. Red is here. So let's say red was the next player to go. He took one of his cards out of his hand and he played it. Let's say he played a purple 7 card. What that would allow him to do then is he would go 1, but then he hits the wall, moves over sideways for 2, 3, 4, hits the wall again, 5, 6. Red has 1 more movement point, so what he actually does is he pushes the yellow player up 1 spot to finally finish his movement. After he was done, this card would be discarded, and he would draw a new card and add it to his hand, just like that. One thing to keep in mind when you're playing movement cards is the holy cow.
holy cows can never be pushed like that yellow elephant. So for instance, let's say the yellow player was right here, and he played a card from his hand that allowed him to move a total of 8 spaces. The holy cow would work just like if the map ended right here. The yellow player would move forward 1, he would hit the holy cow and have to step over sideways to be able to move around the cow. And then he could finish his movement as long as no other cows blocked his path. The only way to get past the holy cow is by playing a special charge card where you could push the holy cow. Or you can sidestep around him with mango juice or possibly a flying carpet. Speaking of all them cards, why don't we take a look at our action cards and see exactly what they do for us. We've already took a demonstration on our green card. And remember what I told you, green cards can be combined with yellow cards. This is why green cards, even though typically slower in movement, are typically more powerful because of the combination that they give you. The first card we'll take a look at is Mango Juice. Mango Juice allow your elephant to move diagonally. So for instance, the red player, let's say if we had a couple of holy cows and they were blocking the path just like this. Red player was right here. If he plays the 4 with the mango juice, he'd be able to step up for 1 and actually go around diagonally just like that for 2, step there for 3, and then step there for 4 to finish his movement points. Next card we can take a look at is a card that can be played by itself. Now remember, you can still play a movement card with this. This card takes one of these Cobra chips and you can give it to any one of the other players that is playing. Now that player, every time he draws cards to get back up to 6 in his hand, must now choose one card from his hand and discard for every Cobra chip that he has laying in front of him. There's a total of 4 Cobra chips, and it can become very dangerous late in the game. A Magic Carpet. A Magic Carpet combined with a movement card of any type of green would allow you to fly over any obstacles in your way. So why don't we back up our red elephant again here, and let's take a look at what he could do with a Magic Carpet. A Magic Carpet would allow him to fly over any of the obstacles that are in front of him for the exact movement points. There's some rules to this, and what that is that he cannot fly and land on a spot that is occupied by anything else. But as long as that space is open in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, he could land there safely with the Magic Carpet. The Monkey card. Monkeys are pretty devious little creatures, aren't they? If you ever play a monkey card, you can still combine it with a movement card, but what this is going to allow you to do, play your monkey card first, and you can take 2 cards from one of your opponents. If you pull a green card from them, you can play that green movement card immediately and use its movement points. A charge card. This is where you bowl over everything in front of you. So why don't we take a step and we'll put our guy back here again, and we're going to show you just how the charge card works. He moves 4 spaces, but he's got a holy elephant in front of him, or a holy cow in front of him. What's he going to do? With a charge card combined with his movement, he can step there for 1, and then he will push the holy cow and the elephant that is in front of him for the total spaces. That would be movement 2, then he would step over to the side, 3, and then 4. So a charge card can become very, very precious late in the game. And why would that be? Because you can also move holy cows on your turn. You can walk around and you can choose any of the cows that you want and move any of them a total of 8 spaces. Now keep in mind that does not mean each cow moves 8 spaces, but you can have a total movement points of 8 spaces split between all of the holy cows. This is very good for blocking your opponents whenever they're trying to get too far ahead of you. This prevents the runaway leader. A prayer card. A prayer card allows you to go through the discard stack, select one card, and add it to your hand. One rule to this, you are not allowed to look through the discard stack before you play the prayer card. A mouse card. Here's where our mouse becomes trouble for everybody else. A mouse would be allowed to move 6 spaces. If he moves from this mouse hole to any other of mouse hole on the board, that would count as one action point. However, we have an elephant here and here. So if one of these two players back here played the mouse card, they could take the mouse and he can move freely through spaces that contain holy cows, and the first elephant that he makes contact with forces that elephant to move backwards 3 spaces. Even if there is a holy cow blocking that space, he will push the holy cow backwards with him, and the holy cow will take the space and occupy it right behind that elephant that got scared. Tiger. Tiger cards are vicious, wonderful cards. There's only a couple of these in the deck, so if you ever get one, hang on to them. Tiger cards work in 2 ways. First off, we saw how we get our Cobra chips and how awful these could possibly be if you get too many of them. If you play a Tiger card, you can get rid of these Cobras and put them back in the pile. Or, the even more powerful way to use them, is whenever one of your opponents decides that they're going to use, say like a magic carpet and fly to victory, plop your Tiger card down. You can negate that special power 1 time. Then he is discarded. That's all of our special cards that we have. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about some of the other spots on the board and what they mean. Banana trees are located all around the board. Here, 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 and here. And they are terrific for trying to accumulate more cards. Basically, it's like your elephant stopped. He got himself a treat, so he's so happy you get to draw more cards. Anytime you can end your movement on the exact space that contains a banana tree, you will be able to draw 9 cards total in hand. So for instance, I've already got 5 here. I can draw 4 more from this stack. Remember, for every Cobra chip you have in your hand though, you're going to have to discard that many cards down. So if yellow was able to land directly on there, the banana tree, he could then have a hand size of 9 cards. Now keep in mind though, your real hand size limit is technically 6. So you would never draw until you go back down below 6 in your hand. The bridge located up here becomes important if you're the first player, because if you are and you stop right before the bridge, you don't have to. You can move on to it freely, but nobody is allowed to push you any steps forward. So it's like your elephant's scared, the bridge is not real safe, he doesn't want to be shoved, so he's going to resist any type of movement to try to prevent him from moving on to there. Now he can move freely across as he likes if he plays a movement card, but the yellow would not be able to play a movement card and force him onto that bridge. And if you notice, the bridge, there's only 1 square for you to be able to get across. 1, 2, that's it. It's not doubled. So it can become a very, very wonderful position to be in to be first right at that point. The first player to make 1 full lap all the way around the track and cross the red finish line first wins the game. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? Well, then it doesn't sound like you've played Formula E yet.
Thank you for watching. I enjoyed making this video as much as I did playing this game. What this video was intended to do was to teach you the setup all the way to in-game victory conditions. Now, if you want my opinion on the game, I would like you to go check out the GreyElephant quick video review. It's quick because it's only 5 minutes, but it's only my opinion. You want gameplay? Stay here. Check this out again. I hope that this video helped you decide whether or not this game is for you, because if it is, go to Kickstarter and support it. Clever Mojo Games, Formula E. My name is Tim Norris, aka GreyElephant. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.